welcome back to FanCorner, your favorite nerdy, unhinged podcast.
Woo!
That was much better than normal.
Is that where it's supposed to go?
No, but it was still exciting. My name is Rachael, the face of FanCorner, and joining me today, my guest co-host is Brian. Woo! Jalaire abandoned us for Disneyland this week.
Ooh, that's cold.
I know. We kind of hate her.
No, we don't.
We don't. She's also going to a steamy LitCon, which is exciting. It's like it's a new like smut romance convention in LA.
Specifically for smut romance.
Yeah, I might be calling it wrong. It might not be steamy lit. I think it is, but I could be lying, everyone.
Correct us in the comments.
But we will see her again soon. But today we're talking about something very exciting. We're talking about we happen to attend the last ever LeakyCon.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, it's a sad day. And no one knew that it was going to be the last one, so it was kind of like a little bit of a tea situation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have attended that didn't, had they known they were going to change it.
Because I think it was announced like maybe 3 weeks before.
Yeah, it was really like
not enough time to like actually like get flights and hotels and like all the things. So there was like a lot of the Pottergram community that was definitely not there, but that's okay because I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's see. I think honestly the most important thing about LeakyCon is the culture.
Leaky is different than any other con. At least I haven't been to a lot, but the ones that I've been to for FanCorner, I do think that
you've been to a lot this year, though.
Yeah, from 0 to 100. But I do think that Leaky felt very different, and in a good way. Felt very different
in a very good
than
way.
The bigger like the C2E2 or Wonder that I went to.
Yeah, so I've done C2E2 in Chicago, WonderCon in Anaheim, but I've also gone up to Emerald City. I've gone to FanX in Salt Lake a few times, and LeakyCon is, I think, the most loving, accepting convention I have personally ever attended.
Yeah, so I from my limited experience, I agree. All my other cons that I've been to were marketing and finance, so these are a lot more fun than those.
Yeah, but even, would you say more so than like C2E2?
Oh, absolutely.
And Wonder?
Yeah, it's hard to say how much of it was just that there was, 20 times the people at those other cons, so it creates a different atmosphere, but I do think that when we interacted...
Maybe people are just more aggressive.
Yeah,
there's like too many people.
But when we interacted with people, I feel like we had realer conversations. People were nicer about what we were selling. Sure. They were nicer to us. We had lots of compliments about how we looked, as opposed to the other ones that felt a little less human. Yeah.
I think, it's interesting because I think obviously LeakyCon was originally a Harry Potter fan convention. They've like expanded and they do a lot more now, or did a lot more now. And now they're rebranding to EnchantiCon. But Harry Potter, the roots of LeakyCon, is a very female-dominated fandom. Like a lot of women are really into Harry Potter. And then also, I think a lot of queer people were coming to LeakyCon. And I know that seems kind of juxtaposed, given J.K. Rowling being a horrible human being.
Right.
But I do think like it like kind of made this like almost like resistance of like the fans coming together and being like, no, like I am queer or trans or what have you, and I still like Harry Potter, and like how do I grapple with that? And like they find like it was this community where all those people were coming together, and it was like really, honestly, really cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool, especially for where we live. It's a very different dynamic at a con like that.
Absolutely. What do you mean, middle of nowhere, Utah?
Yeah.
Because I live in the middle of nowhere now. LOL. But not even just, like, is the culture so accepting? Like, really going out of their way to make sure it's all gender restrooms and, like, things like that. But, I kind of had an interesting perspective going to conventions this year because I had essentially a temporary disability. I tore my meniscus in October, as many of you know, and at C2E2, like WonderCon, I did like walking, and it completely ruined all my progress I had made.
You really hurt yourself by
I was in a lot of pain.
Having to walk, yeah.
It was a huge convention center.
And it was big.
And I don't think I realized, like, you know that you work hard at cons, but until you have that kind of injury, you don't realize just how much you bend and to set up a booth.
Well, and that's even, like,
people.
You've done cons completely on your own.
Yeah.
You had me there, and it still was that hard on you.
Yeah. No, seriously, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So when we went then to C2E2 the next month, we actually had to get a wheelchair because I just, like, my progress had gone backwards so much that I could not walk.
It was hard for you to even stand.
Like, yeah, more from, like, the parking lot into, like, a Target. I, like, could barely do. Yeah. And so we had to have me in a wheelchair, and it was incredibly difficult. People would not move for me to, like, go through the convention floor at all. I got, like, within my booth, I was, like, really good. We set it up in a way I could zip around. But, like, it was very difficult, and it honestly was hostile.
Yeah, on the floor at C2E2, and this is for me, completely able-bodied, it felt combative.
Yes.
Even for me, and I'm 200 pounds, I'm 6'1", I have a beard, like.
And I don't think it's the biggest convention I've been to.
I don't think it is either.
So I think that's the energy of the crowd for some reason.
Sure.
I know different.
each con has its own personality.
Yeah, like its own niche.
I don't think I knew that. I had never been to a Comic-Con. Like I had no clue. Like, you see the kind of caricatures that you see in movies about people who attend cons, and that's kind of what I was operating on the assumption of, and that's not what it is like at all. But each one is very different. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, I would say FanX Salt Lake is very, like, pop culture. Whereas, you know, some of the other ones are, like, a little bit more anime or more traditionally comic book centered or whatever. Sure. But yeah, definitely a more hostile environment. But LeakyCon, like, I wasn't in a wheelchair at that point anymore, but I was still, like, I can't, like, walk crazy distances to, like, go to the bathroom or whatever.
We had to be really careful with you because we were okay, but we really didn't want to not be okay.
Yeah. And you know, the plane would flare up because the conventions are hard, but LeakyCon staff really went out of their way to be like, okay, how can we make this as accessible for this vendor as possible? And then the other thing I personally noticed is, like, you know, and I'm worlds better now, actually. Like,
you've worked really hard and you've been very careful.
Been doing all the, like, physical therapy and whatever. Like, I can walk a really normal amount. I can stand a normal amount. We're starting baby driving. Like, we're really getting there. But being in this body for this year, it was really interesting because I've noticed that, like, a lot of people, like, kind of side eye you. Like, because I have a really bad limp, or I did still at LeakyCon, a really bad limp when I'm in pain, when my knee's, like, seizing.
If you've done more than 10 steps.
Yeah. And I feel like LeakyCon was the only place where I did not feel actively judged, or people weren't frustrated trying to get around me as quickly as possible, or, like, you know, just kind of hostile.
Yeah, I feel like at C2E2, you had people hit your leg as they were trying to pass you in the...
They hit my wheelchair.
Yeah, they'd, like, all kinds of stuff, and I'd be like, bruh, like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, and it was that way when we went to Universal as well in January.
Yeah, Universal was an interesting crowd.
Like, when I was limping really bad before we got to the wheelchair station, I was really struggling to get there, and people were audibly frustrated that I was walking slow, even though I was limping, and I had on, like, a brace. Like, it was very clear something was wrong, and they were still like that. But, like, at LeakyCon, there was just, like, absolutely no judgment about, or even, like, you know, something I stress about is, like, oh, like, sometimes I'm limping, sometimes I'm not.
Yeah, you're worried, but what if a person is watching you that they might be like, hey, you're not limping this time.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're perceiving me weird, and, like, because I've gotten that vibe from people, but, like, LeakyCon literally was just so loving and accepting. Like, people were like, no, like, you go ahead. Like, yeah, it's honestly really great.
From staff as well as from attendees. I feel like we had lots of lovely conversations, because this is a new thing for us. I think we were able to talk to other mobility challenged people and get some insight and some, you know, some other ideas of how to run things that we were trying to do, and we learned while we were there.
Yeah.
We didn't just survive. I think we came away with a better ability to understand what people are dealing with when they struggle with mobility.
I absolutely agree with that. And I want to circle back, you said, and the attendees. And I think that's so important because, you know, no shade at the organizers, because they obviously work very hard. But I think what makes LeakyCon actually special in their culture, a lot of it's actually coming from the attendees.
Right.
Like, they are so loving. So they do this thing, and I know other cons do it as well, like DragonCon, where people design ribbons to hand out to other attendees.
I should have brought one to show.
I'll put pictures in on the YouTube. Don't worry. I will put all the pictures in.
They're really cute, and yours are really
so cute.
Yeah,
well, because people like me better, so I got the better ribbons. I think my favorite was like, so people will do like fandom specific ones or like very niche ones, and someone did like the Tortured Witches department.
Yeah, that was one of your favorites.
Like Taylor Swift mixing with like Harry Potter, obvi. And it was so slay. And it was like the white with the black.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was so cute.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other cute ones. There was one last year that was like, somehow it was a reference to Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, but it was like, anyway, that was funny.
You really liked that.
More my side of the fandom there a little bit.
So many great ribbons, and people are just so giving about it. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't have ribbons to trade them. They're excited to be there. They're excited to give you one, even if you can't trade back. It's just a very loving sort of atmosphere.
We had people give things like little ducks,
There was a little duck that had a little witch hat on it.
Yeah, and that was the
cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wasn't it?
I think I squealed.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Because people hand us a lot of things, and like I only sometimes have like a second to talk to someone before the next person. But they handed it to me, and I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't expect it to be as cute as it was. Like, you expected it to be cute, but that was like next level of cute.
Really fun. I was like, my ribbon is not worthy of your like
full
like collectible duck.
It was so cute. But there were, we saw all kinds of things, but I think the coolest part was some girls were walking by, and I asked them if they would like a ribbon. So they all came over, and these were like definition girls. Like,
and there was like 9 of them.
Yeah.
It was
at least
crowd.
7. Yeah, there was quite a few of them. So they came over and they were like, "Oh my gosh, do you want a bracelet? Like a friendship bracelet?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Are you serious?" Like, I was like, "I don't have any to give back." And they were like, "We don't care." And okay, so here's the backstory. No one's ever given me one except Brian. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate the one you gave me for Christmas. He made me some because he knew I was upset about it. They were so cute.
I think they were a little too small, but they were cute.
Too small. Like, I know my wrist is smaller than yours, but you made them like for a doll. Like,
yeah, don't tell them that they're currently on our stuffed animal downstairs.
That's the only place they would fit.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, anyway, so I had never like been given a friendship bracelet before, like in my entire life, and so I think I kind of like got really weird because I was so excited about it. I was like, wait, like, are you sure though? Are you sure? Like, I don't have any on me, and I felt flustered I didn't have any. Because I wear friendship bracelets, like I'm literally wearing some right now. I wear them every single day. Since the Taylor Swift like concert phenomenon, I got really into it. I made a ton of bracelets before we went.
We have 40 or 50 that we've made ourselves downstairs. Yeah.
And I just wear different ones every day. But I wasn't wearing any because I had like a little cosplay moment. But they like literally I think they sent a text out or something because they were talking and chatting with us and we were having a really great time. And like more and more girls kept showing up and they were like, "We heard you need bracelets." Like, it was really so cute.
Yeah.
It was the best moment, honestly, low-key of my life. It's fine.
Yeah, that you were very tickled by that, and as you should be. Like, it was really fun, and then they liked your stuff, and so you made some friends. It wasn't just trading bracelets. It was you actually met some people that are friends.
That's the thing with LeakyCon. Like, it's like, it's, ribbon collecting and ribbon trading. And, there's maybe some people that just do it in a transactional way.
We had it happen a couple of times where somebody would come up to the booth and say, "Do you have ribbons?"
Grab it and then run away.
The extent of it. It only happened like twice.
Yeah, but it's very rare. Yeah. I think for the most part, people are genuinely looking for authentic connections with other people.
It's a reason to talk to somebody.
It absolutely is. Yeah. And especially like if that person then knows the reference on your ribbon. Like, you're now having something to talk about. Like those girls and I, we were able to then talk about Taylor Swift, obviously. We talked about Throne of Glass. Like, we're going through a whole thing.
There was that kid who, I forget what it said on the ribbon, but it was like a cause. It was like a charity that they were working on or something.
Are you talking about like the magical creatures charity?
I don't know. It was
like about animal rights?
End wand violence was one, and it was like, there was somebody, I don't remember what the context was, but like, they were like raising awareness apparently. I didn't pay very close attention, but they were raising awareness for a charity that they were invested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool way to make authentic human connection that I've not seen at any other con.
Yeah.
Like, people compliment each other's cosplays no matter where you go. But Leaky is just, like, these people have legitimately become my friends. It's like, I went to LeakyCon last year, and I met a ton of the Harry Potter Pottergram community. And it's to this day, like I recognize their little usernames.
Yeah. You'll tell me, it's like, oh, remember so and so that was wearing this cosplay? She just liked my post. That's great.
Or interacted with my story. I don't know. Like it's a fun sort of way to get to know people. Okay, but LeakyCon this year was held in Portland, which meant we had like some other fun fandom things to do that had nothing to do with Harry Potter.
Yeah, we went on a heck of a road trip. So yeah, we packed up the car. So it was just Rachel and I. We packed the car up and we typed into the Google. We said nerdy fandom things on the road to Portland, and there wasn't a lot, but we did find a couple of fun things to do.
Well, so Portland itself. Okay, so the Oregon itself is like, I thought was a green state.
That's what I had in like my mind. Is it's all trees.
Yeah, because like, okay, so it's a 2-day for us, a 2-day road trip there.
About 12 hours of driving. And
I was like, okay, so we're going to go through deadbeat nowhere, Utah and Idaho. It'll be boring. But then the second day, it'll be green and beautiful. And like, that doesn't happen.
We're going to cross that state line and it's going to be trees the whole time.
That is not what happened.
No.
There's not really a lot. It was kind of bleak, honestly.
Yeah, Western Oregon is.
It got into my head a little because it was literally my actual literal birthday. It was fine. But the second you cross near Portland, there's a ton of nerdy stuff because Twilight was filmed in that area.
Right.
So you have a ton of Twilight like fan locations to see and things like that. We didn't get to do everything, but we did get to go to
Multnomah Falls,
which was so cool.
It's amazing. Look it up if you don't know what we're talking about. Like even just Googling it, it's really pretty.
It's you might have seen pictures of it before. It's like the falls with like the bridge, right? But
like,
I don't know.
30 feet in the air.
Yeah, like I feel like people would recognize it from that. Okay, so I have to admit, which I don't even think I told you this because it makes me a poser. Because I was like,
poser.
I was like, we have to go to the Twilight stuff, but the diner was like out of our way, and like we didn't have a lot of time because we had booth set up and stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, the falls is like on the way, so we'll go to the falls.
It's like right off the freeway. It's like 10 minutes off the road,
Whereas like the diner and stuff, like I would recognize the diner from the movies. I actually don't low-key remember when the falls are in the movies at all.
Babe.
I have no idea.
To be fair, I mean, I don't either. I've seen, I think, maybe I haven't seen
I feel like I rewatched them a few years ago, and I just have zero recollection of this. Like, is it, like, I know they play baseball in the woods. Like, the woods are obviously, and I will say, probably because it was filmed in the area, like, just even being in that tree area, you get kind of a Twilight-y vibe.
Yeah, whether it's Washington, because it's supposed to be Washington, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but whether it's, like, kind of that, like, Western Oregon or Southern Washington, I think that the vibe's about the same.
The energy's there.
Yeah.
But so these falls, you walk up to them, it's pretty easy to get to, actually, which I was impressed with because, like, I feel like in Utah...
Easy hike!
Actually, an easy hike is how I tore my meniscus.
That wasn't even a hike. That was a nature walk.
Okay, well, don't be a jerk about it, but we were in
No, I mean, that's what it said.
But, like, I feel like you'll go on these quote-unquote easy hikes in Utah.
Yeah, like on all trails, it'll be like, oh, yeah, beginner hike.
Yeah, kid-friendly, whatever the hell. And then it's, like, rocky as all hell.
Yeah, it's, like, 2 miles of gravel.
It's, like, straight uphill. Yeah. Like, you won't need a grappling hook or whatever they use, but, like, aside from that, like, easy is a strong word.
No, if that's easy, then I'd hate to see what hard is.
No, seriously. Yeah. So I was a little nervous because we're so used to that Utah culture of, like, I guess, crazy hikers, that I was a little nervous that, like, it said it was a walk to the falls, but I was like, is it though?
But it's just so hard to tell from the internet. Like, you can look at the map, you can look at, but it's like, what's that actually going to be like to walk?
But it really was really paved. It was really nice. It was really beautiful. But then to go actually up and be on the bridge, you have to, like,
kind of
go
some
up.
switchbacks and
There's some switchbacks, but there was, like, 3 flights of stairs. Torn meniscus, I still cannot go upstairs.
The stairs is the one thing that no matter how well you've done, we still can't quite.
Yeah, it's that last sort of thing we're working towards. Because it's really hard on your knees.
Stairs are hard.
Like, and so I was like, there's just no way I can go up those stairs, but I really want to do it. So Brian, in a heat wave,
it was like 100 degrees.
was like, I'll carry you. And I was like, you cannot just carry me up all these stairs. But he was like, no, I can do it. I think it was harder than you thought it would be, though.
It was, yeah. Well, and also, we didn't really know when the stairs would stop. And so, like, I didn't put you down because I was like, oh, maybe around the next corner there's going to be more stairs. and I didn't want to like pick you up again.
And you're like leaning down on gravel to pick me up.
Oh god! But we survived.
But he gets down on the ground. I get on his back, and there's like all these tourists in the area, and so I got really flustered immediately. Like I was so embarrassed because I was like, "What are they thinking about this?" There were some girls that were really cute. I was like, "I'm injured, I swear. Like I'm not just lazy." And they just started laughing. Like cute. They were really cute, but there definitely was some weird looks. But what was funny is I couldn't get it out of my head because of Twilight area. Hold on tight, spider monkey.
Oh yeah.
It's like when he picks her up that same way.
Yeah, like she's on his back and then he like runs through the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like at one point you were, because you were kind of going at the stairs on a jog, I was like, this is my Twilight moment. Like we're just recreating it. It's fine.
If I would have known that was something from the movie at the moment, I might not have done it. I don't know.
It was a little salty.
Well, I don't know. I don't want the tourists to think that we're like being stupid. I don't know.
Oh, okay. And to be fair, I don't think it was like at the falls. It's fine. It was one step removed.
Oh, okay. Sure.
We were one step removed.
Sure. Yeah.
It's fine.
Fun reference.
And then we also went to Pal's bookstore.
Yeah, Powell's was fun. Yeah, we had a little bit of time in the city betwixt the unpacking and prepping and everything.
We have to eat sometime.
Yeah, so we went out to Powell's and it's cool. It's the size of a city block. Like it's a city block, but it's a bookstore. It's like 5 stories tall or whatever it is.
And it's
like just all a bookstore.
Isn't it like the biggest used bookstore like in the world? Or am I making that up?
That sounds right. It may be in the country. It's definitely the biggest in something.
We're like making up a stat. I swear, it's an important bookstore.
Yeah, it's important. It's like very famous. Yeah.
It was like so in some ways it was way cooler than I thought it would be.
Yeah, there were things about it that I thought were cool, but
it was a little difficult because it was a lot of stairs, and so
yeah, it was not an accessible building.
No, and there's just one elevator that was very, 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 very slow.
They're some very like rickety.
Yeah, but we had a lot of fun. I will say though, okay, so here's my hot take. I think some of the cute local bookshops we have in Utah are cooler, though. Like, I felt overwhelmed.
It felt like a big store. It didn't feel like a bookshop.
Sure.
It felt like
it wasn't cozy.
Yeah, it felt like a Barnes & Noble.
I felt like I was flustered because, like, you couldn't tell the difference between, like, used and new books easily.
Yeah, they were
kind of mixed
in some places.
And I didn't understand the organizational system at play.
You needed, like, to read a book to know how to, like, find the books that you were looking for. Like we had a couple of fandoms or whatever authors we were trying to chase down, and I feel like we kind of gave up because we couldn't figure out where they were.
Yeah, well, because I was like, what if they have like a one-off old Sarah J. Maas or something?
Yeah, like an old edition or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the problem that we had is that we just didn't have enough time. I think that's like a half a day activity.
That's fair.
And we were there for an hour or whatever, but like I also don't know if I wished we had more time. I think I was kind of over it, but and I love books. Like I love books, but I'm an audiobook girly. So
I'm really excited. We're gonna go to Lovebound Library, which is Utah's little romance bookstore this weekend.
Yeah, I think you're more excited for that than you were for Powell's.
The whole thing is pink, bitch.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
It is pink. Yeah. Which reminds me of Voodoo Donuts. We did go to Voodoo Donuts.
Voodoo was fun.
And the box, okay, so this is kind of a stupid thing, but I think the coolest thing was that the box said, good things come in pink boxes. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking true.
Love pink.
Pink's better. I don't know.
Your water today is pink.
It is pink. Yeah, my lips are pink. Like, everything should be pink. Let's get into the actual convention.
Sure.
Because we have, like, a lot of really fun stories.
Yeah, I think there was a few interesting things that happened. One is, like, again, with my limited experience going to cons, I don't think I realized that we would be in such, like, proximity to such famous people. Like, there were some pretty big names there. I didn't know any of them were, but, you know.
You recognize Jenny and Percy.
Well, I would know them by looking at them, but I wouldn't have recognized their name.
Sure. Yeah, we did have some famous people encounters, which notoriously, as you all know, I'm terrible at meeting famous people. When I met his name's Felix Felices, he's like a Harry Potter lookalike. He makes content as the boy who lived. He was at FanX one year. I fell to my knees.
Like had a stroke.
Like in shock. Like I was like, it was like the most dramatic thing I've ever done.
Do you even watch a lot of his content?
I don't even think I followed him. Maybe it's just because he looked like Harry Potter. Do you know what I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I cannot meet famous people.
Well, you've come a long way then, because it wasn't that bad.
It was not that bad. I did pretty good. Last year when we met Chanel Williams at LeakyCon, she does like the Professor McGonagall stuff and things like that. She's a really great content creator on TikTok. I was definitely weird. I said a really weird thing. I was like, I gave her a prefect badge.
Yeah, like the Quidditch captain badge.
Yeah, because I was like...
Okay. Hard to even talk about it now. So, in case you don't know, McGonagall was a Quidditch captain when she was at Hogwarts, right?
Yeah. And so I gave it to her, and I was like, I feel like you should have this because whatever. And I was like, every time... Tell me why this is what I said, because this is not true. To be clear, this is not true. But I was like trying to just say something, like a one sentence before, like, you know, because like you don't want to take up their time, whatever.
Yeah, she's a busy lady.
There's a lot of pressure, but I was just like, yeah, every time I make them, I think of you. What? It was so creepy. I'm not allowed to meet human beings. I already have social anxiety, and so the second it feels like there's pressure because they know that I know who they are, it's like too much. It's like way too much. But I did a lot better this time.
Yes, you did.
The only kind of funny one is, you know, because we met Em, who's really cool. She does a lot of the Draco stuff. She was amazing. She came by the booth after I went up and met her. And that was really fun.
She was really sweet.
We got to bond over like sitcoms together and things. But then there was this group of people, because I'm sitting down taking knee breaks, and there was this group of people walking around the side of my booth. I can't really see much because it's built up.
Yeah.
And I could hear them all chatting and like oohing and awing over things. And I have these certain bits that I come up with to say to people. Poor Brian, I just say the same things over and over again.
I do it too. Yeah.
Where I'm like, feel free to pet them. None of the magical creatures bite. Like right as they're coming around the corner, I'm starting to say that. And then like I recognize the girl that I've been listening talk. And I was like, oh my God, you're the girl. She was... Word
for word, that's what she said. You're the girl.
Nothing articulate. Just like, and I'm like pointing at her. She was from FantasyFanGirl Podcast.
Yeah, Nicole.
And she's just walking around the floor. And I thought that was so cool because like I've really seen them just blow up. Like they're on my For You page all the time. Like, what do you mean she likes my stuff? That was crazy. Yeah. And her brother was with her, and he was like, oh my gosh, so are you a fan? Like I'm trying to be chill, and like I was like, yeah, I really liked it when you were on MuggleCast and you said like this and that about hating Ron and how you'd pick Victor Crumb because that's the correct decision. And we were talking about, because he was there at the con as well.
Yeah, the actor who played.
Yeah, we were talking about how Victor Crumb is crazy hot now, like the actor.
He had a glow up.
I think it was his haircut in the film.
Yeah, they didn't do him a lot of favors.
His haircut was hideous.
Yeah, the hair, and then his physique is phenomenal now.
Yeah, he really has had a glow up, and so we were kind of like geeking out over that, which was really. So I maybe started it weird with "Hey, you're the girl."
Hey,
we had a full circle.
They laughed. It wasn't weird. It wasn't awkward. They thought it was cute.
I think they thought it was cute because it was weird. Do you know what I mean?
But it wasn't like creepy. Like it wasn't.
Sure, it wasn't what I did to Chanel Williams.
Yeah, maybe we don't talk about that anymore. But what was fun about Nicole and Lexi too, right? When they're sisters, for the host of the podcast, they kept coming around. They came to the booth. I mean, a half dozen times before the con was over. Yeah,
I feel like it went twice.
No, you like took pictures with them once.
They came back by the next day, and they like she was like, we had this whole conversation, and she was like, can I give you a hug? Is that weird? And I was like, absolutely not. That is not weird. And so she like came back and gave me a hug. It was like really sweet. Like I was like, what do you mean you now brought Lexi? Like it was like honestly, it was really cool.
Brought the whole crew over, yeah.
So anyway, and that was really, it was meaningful. Okay, so they're obviously, and it's a different kind of book, right? But they're a book podcast, and at LeakyCon, like a huge push for me was getting my author Instagrams up and everything, and like my website. Yeah. Like it's now available for pre-order, my fairy tale, officially. And so like the weekend I launched my fairy tale, like one of the biggest book podcasters just ran across my booth Like, it just felt like a sign.
It felt very like, perfect, divine, and right on time.
Fortuitous.
Like, fortuitous. Good word.
It was really magical.
It was really fun.
And launching that fairy tale that same weekend, I think was really fun because we got these like huge banners made, which just made me feel legit.
Yeah, there was like 7 feet tall or
something.
It was.
Yeah. I literally in pictures when I first got it had to use Brian for scale because it was like it looked way smaller in a picture because you just like couldn't tell how tall it was. Yeah, so it was really cool. But we did get a pre-order at the convention, which was really exciting. But the lady who did our very first pre-order. And it was within the first few hours of the concert. It was really cool. Yeah. But she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this, blah, 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 blah." So my fairy tale, for those of you who've not noticed on Instagram, whatever, is the girl raised by a dragon. And it's a dark fairy tale meant for all ages. Definitely appropriate for elementary school. But really, I think it's like a true fairy tale. It can speak to adults very much so.
Yeah, there's very much layers to the symbolism and everything.
We've been saying, like, Neil Gaiman in a Disney world. Yeah. Is kind of what we've been saying. But this woman was... so basically it's a metaphor for abuse. Like, if you read the thing, I think you more or less know it's a metaphor for abuse. And that this little girl's going to go through a lot. But it's hopeful. Don't worry. But this cute lady that wanted to pre-order, I'm like taking down her information. And she's like, "I'm so excited because my kids call me a dragon. Like, they call me Mama Dragon." And I was like, I'm a little, like, I was like, oh my gosh, should I tell her? Like, it was like, we both looked at each other like, oh no, like, that's a different, like, this is not like protective, cute Mama Dragon.
No, that's not the kind of dragon.
No, like, it's a mean dragon. Like, and so Brian was like way better at it than me because I was just like, I don't know what to do because I didn't
like, before we run your credit card, I feel like you should know, in this book, the dragon is secretly the villain. Yeah. I think that's exactly what I said, and she was like, "Oh, I don't care." So she was so a good sport about it. But yeah, she was so cute. It was quite funny.
It was a really funny, like, first sell story, though.
Yeah, I know. Out of all the interactions we could have had.
To be the first one.
Yeah.
Like, so funny. It's interesting meeting all those famous people because we had a few people, there weren't as many Pottergram people this year, but we had a few people that did recognize us.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is always really exciting. One of them came from Canada just to go to LeakyCon. That's so cool.
It is cool.
And she said she was coming before, like, in my DMs, so I knew that. But when I told the friendship bracelet story on Instagram, I think it was the Fantasy Fangirl podcast story, she was like, "Oh yeah, I was too scared to meet you." And I was like, "You're scared to meet me? I'm literally nobody. Like, 10 people watched this YouTube video. Like, I promise I'm not that big of a deal." But it was like this really good reminder. And I did convince her to come back by the next day. And she gave me the cutest friendship bracelet. It said Buckbeak on it.
That was very cute.
I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. But she, like, it was this really good reminder that, like, I think we all feel that way when we meet people. Like, it's not just like, oh, because they're so much cooler than you. Like, everyone's that to somebody.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always somebody who's a couple levels higher than you in your circle of influence.
Well, not even just that. Like, I think it's like, I think people don't realize they're powerful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like, I think, like, even meeting her for me was really cool.
Sure. Because
we've interacted so much over the last year in my Instagram stories. Yeah. Putting a face to that name. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're her,
Yeah, kind of parasocial thing or whatever.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like, I think the moral is everyone's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Like, that's why people minimize themselves, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's what's fun about cons is that you get to have all these really fun human interactions with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we had more fun conversations in 3 days than we'll have in 6 months at home.
Today's artist feature is for BooksbyBritton. She was another creator that was at LeakyCon, so I've met her in real life. I've seen these products in real life, and they're mini. And I've actually met her mama too. I met her mom before I met her. Like, her mom came up to my. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was like so adorable.
They were very good neighbors.
Very cute. They make these itty bitty little bookshelves. And they're themed around different things, like maybe like a Broadway show or like a certain fantasy kind of vibe or whatever. So it'll have the little books on it, and then it'll have little, like, knickknacks that go with it. Just like on my beautiful bookshelf behind us, I have little knickknacks to go with my things. She does on her miniature bookshelf.
They're really cute.
They're very cute. They're very, like, detail-oriented, and, like, everyone loves mini things, right?
It brings out your cute aggression.
Oh, absolutely. Like, we learned that with my miniatures, right? People like the really small things. So, we love Books by Britton. I'm going to link her stuff down below. Go check her out. I think it'd be a good gift for someone, honestly.
Yeah, and we are approaching that season.
We are approaching that season. She'll also be at Steamy LitCon. She does a lot more cons than me, so you might meet her in the wild one day.
We need more energy or something.
No, we don't. I'm over it. I'm hard over it. We'll go to EnchantiCon and that's it. But check out Books by Britton.
I had a wand battle with another maker, if I remember
First of all,
correctly.
it's a duel.
Oh, sorry.
I had a wand
apologize.
duel with a wand maker that was right next to us. Only at LeakyCon can you get away with that. There was, like, enough room in the aisle. There was, like, no one there. It was, like, the last few little bit. But he's a wand maker, so we both picked out wands. We took it very seriously, and we did it just like they
took like 10 steps apart. And...
yeah, like it was counted out. You know what I mean? And then we turned around, and okay, so I thought we were taking it seriously because why wouldn't I?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious were you?
I was 10.
You were a 10. How serious was your competitor?
Maybe 9. He was like a 5. Like, he was not very serious.
I've given it a lot of credit.
Okay, so I thought he was, like, gonna go for it, you know? So I was, like, really, like, waiting for that 10. And I turned around, I screamed. Like, you heard it throughout the entire floor, which I didn't fully intend to do, but I screamed Expelliarmus. And I don't even know what he tried to say.
First of all, solid choice for a dual spell. That's, like, a very good spell.
Yeah, because if he's disarmed, like, it's over,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was, honestly, he had done, like, a cool thing where he flipped to the ground, but I caught it really quickly. So, like, I still got him. But it was, like, even his wife was like, yeah, she won that. Like, it was, like, really funny.
Yeah, I don't even know if he got the name of the spell out. Because, to be fair,
I think he was shocked that I was taking it so seriously.
He did do his, like, barrel roll thing or whatever, which was, like, kind of cool in its own way. But I do think he was like,
cast the
you
spell,
may as well
though.
have cast Stupefy because he was
Stupefied. Okay, dad joke. Dad joke. And then we also got to go to a ball, the very last LeakyCon ball. We didn't go last year, so that was fun.
Yeah, I do not know what I was expecting for that. I have never been to a ball of any sort, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. It was not what I expected.
Me neither.
Is that? Would you say that's for better or worse?
Maybe a little for the worse.
Probably a little for the worse.
That's maybe too honest. Yeah,
It was a little.
Okay, so the reason I say that though is because there used to be an event here. It was run by a company. They don't exist anymore. The owners moved to Texas or something random, but like it was called Geeked Out Events, and they did a Yule Ball, and it was like lit very beautifully and decorated very beautifully. And so even though they were still playing modern music, it was just like very much in the realm of what you would expect for like a magical ball experience. And this felt like, okay, to be fair, we went in the last 10 minutes. In our defense, we meant to go in the last 30 minutes, but my dress broke.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties.
Difficulties.
I was like, why were we so late? Because we wouldn't have purposely gone 10 minutes to the end. We're not that cool.
We were such an idiot. But we were tired, okay? But
it's a long con, because that was at the end of day 2.
It kind of felt it was the end of day 2, but the setup for us on date 0, was like an 8-hour thing.
So it was Saturday night, but we had been there working since Thursday.
Yeah. It felt like a junior high dance.
Absolutely.
Which, to be fair, I guess was kind of fun in a way. What was weird about that, though, is, like, I don't know, like, because it kind of gave junior high dance energy, just with the lights, and, like, the sound system was not good. It's, like, not a good sound system. Yeah. And the music was all very old, like from when I was in high school. And so it felt like we were at, like, a high school dance. And so I got, like, really weirdly flustered for no reason.
Yeah, you got transported right back to all that angst of high school or junior high, didn't you?
I was, like, Brian would look at me and I would giggle.
It was cute. I think I smooched you a couple of times and you just about fainted.
So embarrassing.
No, it wasn't embarrassing. It was cute.
We've been together for almost 2 years and I could not, like, handle myself. I was like, oh my gosh, what if like the con or the like, you know, the like what organizers? What if they see
the staff? Yeah.
And you were like, they see me dance with you at the dance? I think it'll be okay. It was actually really funny though.
It was cute. Yeah, you were very stressed.
But like they gave this whole speech at the end. And
yeah, because it was partly kind of like it was them saying goodbye because
Yeah.
of 19 years of LeakyCon or whatever, and so the owner was.
Was it 19 years?
I don't remember. It was some number like that.
I don't think it was 19.
I think it was a lot.
Oh wow, I had no idea. Okay, well it was an amount of years. So they gave this speech, and they did this thing, and then everyone left the stage. The lights come up. Everyone's leaving. Okay.
Yeah, so that they had like all the celebrities and all
Yeah.
the like high profile attendees were like on the panels and stuff. Were up on the
Yeah.
stage. And
They all sang the last song together.
Yeah, it was cute.
It was cute.
It was loud.
It was loud, but they all left.
Yeah.
The stage was empty.
It's like the lights turned on.
Except the owner of LeakyCon. The stage was empty.
Yeah.
And the lights are on in the whole room, and everyone's leaving, and it was like 10, 15 minutes after this. So like it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, we kind of hung out trying to see if we saw anybody we knew to talk to.
Yeah, because like we had said we would meet up with a few people, and then I like never saw them there.
Yeah, because it was pitch black and it was really hard to see anybody. Yeah.
But so we're like hanging out, seeing if we can see anything, and then I saw this guy like run and jump up, like just some guy, like run and jump up and take a selfie in front of the big banner.
Like a LeakyCon.
Yeah, LeakyCon
banner,
background, and there were no background opportunities at the entire convention.
Yeah, they didn't have one. There wasn't like a photo op somewhere, which was kind of annoying.
It's crazy. But I was like, so this was the thing, and so he took a selfie, and I turned to Brian, and I was like, do you think we can do that? And what did you say?
Sure, babe.
No, he said yes. And then after he was like, okay, and so because I was like maybe like they don't care because it's over, like they're striking it. They're getting rid of the LeakyCon signage.
It felt fairly over, but there still were quite famous people like just off the stage.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so apparently Brian knew we weren't supposed to do it, but I asked him.
No,
I was like, "Do you think we can get up?" And he said yes.
Sure.
And so I thought we could do it. Like I just like because I'm always nervous to do things, and I'm trying to be better at not being nervous to do things, which this did not help. I think we're gonna have to revert now because I was like, okay, well then let's just do it. And so we get up on the stage.
Well, and it's quite a scene because you can't climb up on the stage, and so I'm having to like.
Okay, it was not that bad.
No, that stage was like.
I kind of jumped though because I knew we needed to just get up there.
Yeah, but still, we made a bit of a scene getting up on the stage.
Okay, so we took a picture, and then like some like volunteer came up and was like, "You can't be up here." Like, what
and she was like, "I'm gonna need you to get off the stage."
And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I really didn't know we weren't allowed up because someone else had done it. And like they're getting rid of the LeakyCon stuff. I thought like we're striking the set. I don't know.
Our last chance to get a Leaky picture.
I didn't think it was that serious. And also to be fair, we've been up there for a while before she said anything.
Yeah, we took the picture and we were kind of like looking around and she was,
Well, we weren't looking around. We took the picture and we were checking the picture to make sure it was cute.
Sure.
So, to be clear, we weren't like trying to do anything success. But I was like, oh my god. Anyways, I felt so guilty. It's like the worst thing I've maybe ever done.
Yeah, you like barely slept the next night and like, yeah, it really got to you.
This was all alleged.
Yeah, by the way, that was hypothetical.
I didn't actually do any of this.
Yep.
We saw someone else do it.
Yeah, two people matching a
We're
similar description to us.
Credit just to make my YouTube video cooler.
Wink. Allegedly.
I literally, like, I can't believe we're admitting to this. Like, they might not let us back. We're on, like, a vendor blacklist, maybe, after this.
We're the rabble-rousers.
We are the rabble-rousers.
We're the troublemakers.
It was so funny. And I, like, okay, and then Brian's a jerk, okay? So, like, we leave. Okay, you are a jerk. So we leave, and I'm, like, crying because I'm, like, so flustered that I did something against the rules. Because I literally, in the moment, and I don't, in retrospect, I understand that I should have realized it was against the rules. But for some reason, I really thought it was okay. And to be fair, my boyfriend said it was okay. And so we're leaving, and I call my best friend to be like, oh my god, I did a stupid thing. I think I can't go back tomorrow. Like, we have to, like, bail out of the con. And one of the organizers walks up with his wife.
Yeah, one who we'd become pretty good friends
Yeah,
with.
we knew him. But, like, Brian immediately was like, Rachel's an idiot, and went and jumped up on
I
the stage.
didn't say you were an idiot. I think I said you were a notorious criminal.
And I hear this while I'm on and I was like, I look around and it's like an organizer.
He was our buddy.
Now he's not. He's like acting cool, but he's like, I actually have to file a report about y'all now. Like,
hey, did we get in any trouble for it?
Okay, not to our faces, but we could be on a blacklist.
Could be.
We could be. That's all I'm
be.
saying. We could be. Anyway, things that keep me up at night, it's funny.
TSA is
And
going to
I
flag
realize
you down next
everyone
time
in the
airport.
comments is going to be like, how did you not know you were supposed to go up there? But I swear to you, because I saw the guy do it, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, and then I think the organizer that we were friends with said that person was not an attendee, that they were.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's part of the staff. And I was like, well, then why was he not, like,
yeah, it was very.
Why did he run jump if he's part of the staff? Well, I don't know. He didn't look like part of the staff. It's fine. Anyway, so now you know an official criminal. It's fine. Speaking of criminals, we started an audiobook on the way home, though.
Speaking of criminals, that's a heck of a segue.
Okay, we started Throne of Glass.
Yes, we did.
And she's a criminal. So,
Sure.
You know, assassin. I don't think it was that bad of a segue.
No, I said it was good.
Okay, I thought you were saying, like, oh, it's good, like, in a sarcastic way.
Babe, I would never be sarcastic with you.
You'd be sarcastic all the freaking time. What are you thinking of it so far, though? Like, give them a teaser, because we'll probably do a reaction video.
I do want to give just a smidge of context on this. So
okay, sure.
I read a lot of military sci-fi. Very boy, very, like, war porn, stupid, kind of...
Warhammer. That's what
Warhammer
he means.
40,000 is my top fandom. And so most of the books I've read, and I've been trying to make an effort to fix this, but I don't read a lot of women authors, don't have a lot of women POV characters. And so, yeah, Rachel's been helping me find books that I might enjoy that kind of maybe patch that hole in my repertoire. And so she had me read A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury late last year, or whatever it was. It was a while ago.
Can't date me without reading them. So
yeah, and it was really interesting. And so I will say, again, Throne of Glass, Sarah J. Maas, right? Same author. I like Throne of Glass significantly more than I liked A Court of Thorns.
To be fair, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I had you read because it's important to me.
Sure. Well,
I think Throne of Glass is more like every time Selena did anything slightly violent, I was like, see?
She beat that guy to death with a pickaxe. Isn't that
like,
so
yeah,
great?
Well, because he
I'm
likes
like driving the car,
things.
yeah.
I don't know. Like, those aren't what I like, but like.
Oh, that was violent. Did you like that, honey? Yes, fair.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Sounds really bad. So it was going really smooth on the way home. We were having a great time.
Listening to Throne of Glass.
Listening to Throne of Glass. And then in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, boom, tire pressure.
Yeah, starts dropping. Yeah, our little
rapidly.
Car gives us a little.
Rapidly.
It's like, hey, you might want to pull over. And then
it's like pull over immediately.
Yeah. And it was. I mean, there's the middle of nowhere, and then there's what's just past the middle of nowhere, and that's where we were.
It was so bad. Like literally, there wasn't a city an hour in either direction.
Yeah, like literally, there wasn't even a gas station within an hour either direction. I don't think, or maybe just
there was a rest stop.
Yeah, which you ever want to be abducted and murdered?
So it was very scary. It turns out, and we posted about this on Instagram too. I'll put the picture in here. It was like this huge. Ray, jump up so they can see you. Come here. This is our kitty, Ray. She is cute. She is cute. It was this huge, like a
4-inch long blade of a screwdriver.
Yeah, so like the actual plastic part,
yeah.
So you couldn't have possibly seen it on the road.
Yeah.
We weren't in a construction area. There was no debris.
Yeah, we've been driving for, an hour since the stop before. It had been a long time.
And we'd gotten our tires checked before we left. I had a very extensive checklist because I don't like road trips, and this did not help that.
Well, and this was the longest road trip I've ever done. Have you done that many hours?
No.
Yeah, because I'd say 12.
Because I don't do well on them, and I know that about myself. To be fair, we did it a lot better than I've done it in the past.
The driving was a blast until this happened, because it was the worst it was a bad time of day. It was quite late, the middle of nowhere.
The Monday after 4th of July.
It was a really busy day. It was
literally the tow truck guy who came to get us, and we waited. and waited and waited and waited.
I think from the time we called insurance to when the tow truck was there was about 3 hours.
And thank goodness we had AC because it was a heat wave, so it was 103 degrees outside. Yep. And there was no shade, like no trees. We're talking like barren wasteland. When we say middle of nowhere, it's not even like trees.
Yeah, no, this was
barren wasteland.
Like the plains.
And luckily we had a lot of water and everything in the car, but it was like, if we hadn't had AC, I think we would have gotten heat exhaustion.
Yeah, luckily we had like a decent amount of charge, but it wasn't like it was maybe like half a tank of gas kind of thing on the charge.
But the tow truck driver was literally like, and this just like emphasizes how bad the problem was, like under left scores it, was like, oh yeah, if it'd been 30 minutes later, I wouldn't have come and got you.
Was it even 30? I thought he said like 15.
And we were like, so would no one have come and got us?
Yeah, I don't know what would have happened.
Like, would we have died? Like, we were like, like, what do you say to that?
He said that like 5 times in the hour we were in the car.
I was like, this is really helping with my overall panic.
Like, great, dude. Yeah, I'm sure glad that you almost left us to die.
And the tire shops are all closed because it's late at night.
Well, and
because by the time we got anywhere, it was like 8 p.m.
Well, and it's a really unique situation because of the cars that we drive that do not have spare tires. Because normally I would have just put another tire on the car and driven into the next town.
Sure.
But we couldn't. There was nothing we could do. And it's really frustrating because it's like I like being in control, but that was something that just no matter what we could have done, we couldn't have foreseen it. There was nothing we could do.
And we couldn't have prepared better.
Yeah, there wasn't anything. Yeah, exactly. We
got the tires checked. They were rotated. Like we had done everything right, and that still happened.
I felt a little guilty because I was driving when it happened. Like I drove for the whole trip. But
because of my knee, not because I'm a jerk.
Yeah, boyfriend, drive the car. But because of what was stuck in the tire, it would have been impossible. It was the color of the road. Like, you just couldn't have seen it. So, crap happens. But it was really difficult, too, because it, like, undermined the profits from LeakyCon. Yeah, there was quite a bit of extra cost.
Because it took us then a whole nother day to get the car home.
Oh, it took us more than a day.
Almost a day and a half.
Yeah, because we would have been home that day and had time to unpack. But then we didn't get home. Yeah, anyway.
It was literally wild.
Everything.
I will say there were many, many people when I posted about this who went and bought stuff on my store, like on my website.
Yeah, that really helped.
And it helped immeasurably. It helped even just like, I don't think it fully made up for like my lost cost, but it made me way less depressed.
Well, we felt so alone right then.
Yeah.
That it reminded you that you did have people who were with you.
Yeah, it's really easy to feel alone in the middle of nowhere. And then, to go like have spent so much energy and time to go to a con and to bring so many new products and then like have all your profit almost disappear immediately.
Yeah, well, just going to a con is very risky in the first place.
Yeah.
Like you have to spend a lot of money to make money and hope you make enough to cover even what you spent just to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much less was this worth our time.
Yeah, so it was.
We were gone for 10 days for this con.
The people that ordered, I mean, I think that was the only reason I kept going through this because I was just like, it was really rough.
It was hard. And
those orders meant just the world to me. But in terms of announcements, we will most likely be at EnchantiCon next year. I put in an application actually to be to do a
workshop.
Mm-hmm. They might hate me though. I might be on a blacklist. So let's see.
Yeah, before they let you come speak, they gotta make sure you're not a criminal.
Like, actually, that'll be a hard pass from us.
Like, yeah, we can't have you on the stage again.
Or maybe they'll be like, they'll let me do it, but then they'll be like, see, now you don't have to like get up here against the rules.
That sass would be so funny.
That would be hilarious.
I would love that.
Okay, but I would probably cry. Like especially if it was before I like the event, because I'm sure I'll be
just in tears and can't even do your teaching.
It's not funny. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. Okay, but announcements. If you have not followed my author page, I'm gonna link it down below. Please go follow. I have a TikTok and an Instagram. There is a website as well, so if you want to pre-order, that would really help me like make it happen. It's getting illustrated. My illustrator is very, very busy, but we have the cover art. It's beautiful. And the rest is getting illustrated in 2 months, and then the book comes out in March. So
that's coming up.
It is coming up. I'm so excited. Like, it feels far, but in terms of like, I'm building up this author profile from the ground up.
There's a lot of work to do in that.
So much work to do. So if you're interested at all in like fantasy, fairy tales, things like that. I really think you'll like the book. And then our next episode, we're starting a new series where we're doing, every other week we'll be doing a Harry Potter series. We do these occasionally, like random one-off Harry Potter series. And this will be obscure Harry Potter characters. And we're going to do Percy Weasley first, because I've met him now.
Yes, you have.
And I've learned all kinds of stuff, and so I've been thinking and contemplating, and we have some interesting things to say.
We do have some fun takes on Percy lore, I think.
And that will be, Ryan, it'll be next week, so tune in. And then I think they like you too. It's okay.
I hope they like me. I'm really trying to be charming and funny.
Tell Ryan you like him in the comments. Otherwise he might not come back. And I won't do this if it's just me. So Jalera has a life. Jalera will be joining us again in 2 weeks. But that's all for us today. So like, subscribe, do all the things, you know them, and have a very magical day.